Hey guys, it's Amy Garish from Realty Executives. It's been a couple months since I've done a market update. Kind of when interest rates starting to rise, I posted some videos about what to expect going into the rest of 2022. We've had a few months go by, so I'd like to give you another market update so you guys know what's going on. And I have a cool tip. If you're an FHA qualified buyer, I can help you or show you or give you this trick on how to get a loan with an interest rate maybe 2.5%, 3.5%. If you're interested, and that will keep the affordability, especially with prices coming down. There's a tip I want to share with you guys. But first, I want to tell you guys what's going on with the market. And I'd love to share my screen so you can see what's actually happening. And so this is the market summary, includes September 2022. I always start by looking at supply and demand and then kind of see where prices are going. So let's start by checking out some supply. You can see that we are up to 4223 in active listings, which if we look at kind of the bottom here, we had like 1,305. So we kind of 4x our listing inventory. We have quite a bit to choose from. And this, what I'm showing you here is for Phoenix proper. So we're looking at the city of Phoenix specifically, not the whole metro area. Let's take a look at new listings. So you can see new listings actually kind of peaked out here in June. And then people were like, I don't know if I'm going to get what I want for my house. I'm just not going to put it on the market. And we're starting to see that even though people are not putting their homes on the market, inventory is still kind of rising. So that only means one thing: demand is continuing to fall. So let's look at a couple more things. We have pending listings and sold listings, and this is how I keep my finger on the pulse of demand. So you can see that we kind of flattened out here, but inventory continued to rise, which is kind of interesting. But I see that when we kind of look at pending listings, in September, we only had 878 pending listings. So that is going to affect the number of closings that happen in October, which will probably either see the active inventory in October either remain flat or just slightly rise. We're seeing that pending listings are down, and that's definitely going to affect how many closings. So I think we'll see it go up just a smidge because, new listings are down. I don't think that we've seen much more coming into October so far. And going into the rest of the year, I have a feeling that people are just going to kind of hold tight and see what happens. Our trend here in Phoenix is that a lot of people will start kind of coming out and looking at houses in after New Year. So January, February, March, we start seeing a lot more buyer activity. That's when a lot more sellers come to the market. So I think people are just kind of waiting for the next seasonality to hit. And I think if you're thinking about putting your home in the market, let's keep an eye on this demand and make sure maybe it's changing in the other direction. But let's look at some prices. And with all of this inventory, prices are probably going in the other direction. So let's check active list prices. This is so interesting to me. So if we're looking at January 2022, so at the beginning of the year, home prices, the average home price in Phoenix was $609. They had this huge price jump to $663, and they kind of stayed up here in the $650 range and then started to fall back down. And so as of September, you're probably 3.5% down from the beginning of the year. If you're counting this and said like you thought your house was worth $660, if you think your house is worth more because of what the prices was just maybe in May or April, you're probably down 10%. This is a 10% drop. So what's interesting to me is that we're still kind of holding on to prices pretty close to what we were at the beginning of the year. We were at 609, we're at 595. That's, 3 to 4% probably. So that's so interesting. Let's look at the new average list price. So this is what's currently on the market. And then we also track like the brand new listings that hit the market each month and like what do they price for. So you can kind of see December is always funny because people think people won't buy their house in December, so they kind of underprice it to get some buyer activity. And this trend follows pretty well, but you can see that. So interesting that in Phoenix, you guys are putting your house on the market and you are raising the price, even though demand is falling. So if you put your house on the market in September and you're not getting any offers or any showings and you're in the city of Phoenix, it's probably because there were only less than 900 buyers running around last month in the whole city. That's pretty crazy. But the fact that prices were raised, the active listing prices is telling a different story on where sellers' heads are about what's happening in the market. Let's see what's actually going under contract. So pended average list price is like, okay, these are the buyers that came in and said, yes, I want to buy your home and here's how much I'll pay for it. You can see it's going in the other direction, guys. So if you just put your home on the market for $550, the average price people are putting offers on homes right now are $493. So again, I think sellers here might be a little disillusioned on what's actually happening in the market. And let's see what they're closing for. Hopefully it's close to what the pending is. Pretty right on. So what people are going under contract with is what they're closing for. So it's always bad when they pen for $540, but then they end up closing like $30,000 difference. Like that's pretty scary if that keeps happening, but it looks like that's where we're at there. So City of Phoenix, this is what I got for you. If you had listed your house recently and you thought you could get this higher price, you may or may not be able to get that. There's not a lot of buyers running around right now. If we're looking at absorption rate, it says we've got 2.3 months of inventory, which I don't think is correct. I don't know why this is like never corrected my thing. But the average list price to sale ratio is always important. So if you're thinking about selling your house, this is going to tell you if you can get the asking price. So the closer it is to 100%, you're going to get that asking price that you asked for. You're going to get 100% what you asked for. Right now, the sold to list ratio is about 93.5%. So knock 6 to 7% off of your listing price to set your expectations of where the buyers might come in at. So that's what's so interesting here. And then here's kind of a breakdown of like how many homes sold. Let's see, what do we got? Percent change. How many homes sold like in each like price range? So this looks like an August number, not September this month. So interesting. Yeah, no, this is correct because the pending was 800. Okay, so this is where most homes are selling in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, the $400,000 to $500,000 range. We still have some higher activity here in the $500,000 to $700,000 range, but as you go after that, you can see it starts coming down significantly. So if you're selling a home, these are the ranges to kind of look at. So make sure your real estate agent is doing a comprehensive market analysis so that you understand like which bucket here your house should be in. Let's talk about the FHA interest rate. So if you're a home buyer right now and you qualify for FHA, there is a little trick I call FHA arbitrage. I don't really know what it's called, but this is what I call it. And because like arbitrage is kind of like buying into one market and selling it in another. And so if you qualify for FHA, those loans are actually assumable. And so if somebody bought their home with an FHA loan and they got a 2.8% or 2.5% interest rate, you could actually assume that loan. So if you're out there looking at houses right now and you're FHA approved, find out if the homeowner qualified for FHA on their loan and see if that interest rate is assumable, because there would be absolutely no reason that you should be qualifying for a brand new loan at like 6 to 7% if you could assume a loan at 2.5%, 3%, or whatever somebody just got it out a couple of years ago. So that is something that if you're looking to buy a house, like ask your real estate agent about FHA arbitrage. Again, that's what I call it. They might go, what the heck is that? But just say like, can you ask the seller if their loan is assumable? That's probably the correct terminology to ask your real estate agent. So if you're looking at buying a home, definitely take a peek and ask some more questions, because there is opportunity there for you to get a cheaper loan. And then, so if they purchased it for like $260, but the house right now maybe is worth $350, you know, there's going to be some negotiation there. You might have to find financing to cover like that other percentage of the difference, but at least you'll get the bulk of it for like, you know, 2.5 or 3%. And then maybe you're just financing the other part for the higher amount interest rate, but that'll still save you a significant amount of money over the life of the loan. So that's all I got for you, Phoenix. Thank you. Reach out if you have any questions. Have a great day.